Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to, start a new chapter in grade 12. Chapter 7 is about social influence. Now, you're going to ask me, what is the meaning of social influence, right? Now, social influence is nothing but like but the term, how it says is how we get influenced by other people. How do other people make us, convince us, persuade us to change our attitudes? How we get convinced by them? Social influence, for example, now when we use our marketing techniques, when a salesperson wants to do marketing, in other words, he wants to sell his or her product. So he has to see various factors before he sells his product. Who is the customer? He is going to study the customer, observe the customer, try and understand that what is it that he wants to buy. He is going to first thing try and convince the customer to buy something bigger and of more value. So that what is going to happen is that he is going to get a commission, right? The salesperson will get a commission. So this is a tact, a technique that marketing managers, salespeople, they use to convince and persuade, socially influence the customers to buy something, maybe what they didn't even intend to buy. So they convince the customers in such a way that probably they will buy two things or three things. See, nowadays when we go to any of the malls for shopping, we see this, we see something like, the last day's sale. Today you will get for 50%, tomorrow again it will be full price. So these are some of the gimmicks and the tactics that the salespeople or the marketing people they follow so that their item or their object gets sold faster and probably even in a much higher rate. Sometimes they increase the prices also of that particular product, and then they say that now it is 50% off, but already earlier only they have increased the price, and then they say it is 50% off, which comes to actually the original price only. So these are many of the tactics that the sales managers do to sell their product. So now coming to the topic of social influence, there are three important subtopics or three varieties of social influence. The first one is called as conformity. Second is called as compliance. The third one is called as obedience. These three are very important when we study the topic of social influence. Now, what is conformity? It is very similar to an example of everybody has seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or in India we have the famous Amitabh Bachchan episode of Kaun Banega Crorepati. In that, when he has different lifelines, one of them is audience poll. So what is audience poll is a great example of conformity. So in conformity, what happens is that there are probably, he says ki, you have to select between A, B and C, and the player doesn't really know which is the correct option. So he's going to say, ठीक है, let's go by the majority. So if the majority says option B, the player is going to follow that option blindly because they feel the audience is right. They feel that because majority people has voted for option B, maybe it is right, and I am also going to vote for option B. So conformity means I'm going to follow the rules, or I'm going to tick on option B just because others have done it, just because the majority have done it. So I'm going to blindly what the majority does. You may think it could be wrong, but just because the majority has done it, you're going to say it, you're going to do it. So you can be right, the audience can be right, may not be right also, but still you're going to go with the majority. So that is called as conformity. Now in conformity, you can have your own examples also in classroom setup. Okay. Now second option is, what is compliance? What is compliance? So compliance means that I am going to quit doing a bad habit, probably just because of the request of others. So now supposing if you are a chain smoker, okay, and you want to go to the airplane, you want to fly, so now you are going to probably quit smoking for that particular time period only, because the rules and the regulations say that you can't smoke in the airplane. So that doesn't mean that you're going to quit smoking after all. Probably once you land, there's a non-smoking zone at the airport. You'll again go over there and probably take a cigarette or whatever. So you're going to adhere to the rules. You're going to follow the request at that particular time period only. That is called as compliance. Now, what is obedience? What is obedience? Now, obedience is also following the request, agreeing to what your adults or what your caregivers or what your parents tell you to do. So you're going to follow them blindly because they are your role models, they are your parents, because you feel like they are always right. So that is called as obedience, right? In the next session, we're going to do a little bit of the experiments that comes in compliance, conformity, and obedience, right? Thank you.